o'clock. Right now, let's talk about one of my favourite topics always, and that's net zero and largely the insanity surrounding net zero, and of course Ed Miliband, of course, who's playing a crucial role in this now in this government. Let's talk to Andrew Montford. He's director of Net Zero Watch and joins us now. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for joining us. Two particular stories I want to talk to you about today. One is, of course, the launch, launch of Great British Energy, where the government is rushing through legislation to establish GB Energy, and we're told it's going to create all these amazing jobs, and we're going to live in a completely fossil fuel-free electricity by 2030, just 6 years away. Everything's going to be brilliant. We're going to have cheaper fuel, more reliable energy, you name it. I mean, I don't know why we didn't think of GB Energy as the solution to all of our problems before, but is it the solution?
I'm completely bemused by GB Energy. Ed Miliband and Keir Starmer have come into power saying that they found a £22 billion black hole in the accounts. And here they are splurging $8 billion on GB Energy, as well as $11 billion on climate aid for foreign countries. Sounds to me like they've turned a 22 billion black hole into a 40 billion black hole. But I mean, whether it's going to give us any benefits it seems to me extremely doubtful. The suggestion seems to be that they're going to spend the money by investing in sort of, if you like, more sort of fringe technologies like wave and tidal and floating wind.
But GB Energy isn't going to produce any energy. It's not like we're creating a nationalised BP or Shell. They're not going to produce anything.
No, it sounds as if they're going to be an investment house. So other people are actually going to do the work, and they're going to throw money at technologies that no person would put their own money into.
But it would give away that if there's an amazing new technology, you'd think some multi-billionaire might think it might be a good idea to invest in it so he could make money in the future.
Absolutely right. So, I mean, my guess is this is just a black hole for some of our money, and some of Ed Miliband's friends will get a load of money to play with.
Yep.
And it will just put your energy prices up even further.
Well, this is it. We had the announcement. We talked about it on the show yesterday of these new sort of sustainable energy, this auction, and how brilliant it was, and how Ed Miliband, Labour had brought this to us. Of course, this was an auction which was it's bids by renewable companies to provide certain amounts of energy. We're told 11 million homes are going to be supplied by this energy. But these bids were either all put in under the Tories. It was a process set up under the Tories. But crucially also, the only reason why they got a load of bids this time round and no bids last year was because the subsidies weren't big enough last year, but the subsidies had been raised. Just to remind us, who pays the subsidies?
It's the subsidy is essentially a levy directly onto your electricity bills.
Right. So a lot of people who are running renewable companies of various different sorts, they've agreed to provide certain amounts of energy in return for guaranteed payments from the government paid by the taxpayer, completely subsidising their costs.
Absolutely, yeah. Brilliant. So they essentially are going to get above market prices for their electricity for the next 15 years. And after that, they're on their own. But after 15 years, they essentially will have paid for the cost of building the wind farm, and anything else is essentially cash in hand for them. So that's the game they're playing. And it is just going to push up your electricity bills even further. The whole electricity system now is becoming a bit of a shambles because we're producing too much wind power at certain times and nothing at all at others, and the grid is a complete and total mess.
We're not unlike gas storage, although we don't have much gas power storage either, thanks to the Tories. You can't actually store renewable energy really, and you certainly can't do it affordably. So basically, if the wind doesn't blow and the sun doesn't shine, we don't have any. But if there's too much of it, it kind of just goes into
we pay wind farms to switch off in those circumstances if there's too much of it.
So and we pay millions and millions and millions for that.
Yeah,
It's a
absolutely.
brilliant system, Andrew. I don't know why someone didn't think of this earlier. Can I just ask you, we were talking about EVs, electric vehicles as well, which apparently we're all going to have to drive. You're not going to be able to buy a new car that's petrol or diesel or even a hybrid when it comes to 2030. Tories had pushed it back to 2035. Everyone kept pushing it back. We know that even the EU is being under pressure to push these dates back because it turns out people don't want to buy electric cars because electricity's gone up in value, up in cost, and EV cars are very expensive. They basically have no resale value because of the cost of their batteries. And even Volvo, they've ditched plans to sell only electric cars, no hybrid, no petrol, no diesel cars by 2030, because they say, basically, people don't want to buy them. The public want to buy petrol and diesel models, and that's what they're going to keep on selling. But, of course, in the UK and in many other countries, they will be fined for every petrol and diesel car they sell, won't they?
Yeah, it's an absolute shambles. They're going to find the manufacturers for selling too many petrol and diesel cars, and they're going to give the money to the EV manufacturers. But what you say about Volvo retreating from EV manufacturing is true of a lot of companies.
Yeah.
Mercedes are retreating, Ford are retreating, Porsche are retreating. We've had Vauxhall in the UK saying that if the government proceed with this nonsense policy of fining people, they'll pack up and go home.
Yep.
They'll just close
and also,
factories.
consumers aren't going to be forced to fork out tens of thousands of pounds for things they don't want. That second-hand diesel market is going to be absolutely huge. Andrew Montford, thank you so much for talking to us. I mean, some sanity in a crazy world. Director of Net Zero Watch. Quick